Hello, this is Diane Steinbaugh, and this is going to be a video demo on how to make these little wire figures. You have some choices before you get started to think about. Do you want your wire figure to be standing on a little wood base? And one of the reasons why you have to think about that is because he's got some extra wires sticking out. He's not glued in yet, so I can show that. Or do you want your wire figure to be freestanding so that you can play with them and pose them? Things to be thinking about. All right, when we get started, you are going to have some needle nose pliers. Some things you need to know about needle nose pliers. That little part with the circle in it, right there, that's the part that cuts wire. And yes, if you stick your finger in there and cut, you will bleed. And yes, these will pinch really, really hard, and you could get blood blisters and stuff like that. So keep in mind, this is a tool, not something to be messed around with. You will also get a sheet that has skeletons on it with the little red line that's going to be your guideline for building your wire person. Wherever you see these two tiny little loops, that's where you're going to be twisting the wire. And where you see these little M's here, that's another spot where you will be twisting the wire. We're going to start off with a long piece of wire. This is about 29 inches long. And okay, about wire safety, we don't have goggles in the classroom, so you have to be really aware of the ends when you're working. These kind of start to do their own thing, and you don't want to poke yourself or your neighbor in the eye. And I'll have a little mention later about ways that we're going to solve that problem. First thing, sorry about the lighting. I don't have any control over the sun today. Fold your wire in half. And you are going to make a small loop for the skull. Now I'm going to get my loop right about there. At this point you might start, I know it's shaded there, right about there. At this point some people are going to be able to pick their wire up a little bit and give it a good twist. Some people will want to start using their needle nose pliers and give it a good twist. You need 2 twists. You don't want anything real long. You want that just to be the neck. And take those wires and yank them out because we need to form the shoulders. Next step, use your needle nose pliers, and you're going to make a 90-degree turn. So I'm going to get a good grip, take my wire, give it a good yank. So now I got to turn. I'm going to start making that rib cage. Next, we're going to go from the rib cage down to the hips and then down to the feet on this piece of wire. Another 90-degree turn. Now you can start using your fingers and bend a little curve. And get that curve somewhere about bottom of the spine there. And again, another little twist. You have to look at which way your wires are crossing to see which way you're going to twist. I'm going to hold my wires down, turn the rib cage over, and then I'm going to pull that up just a little bit. And then I'm going to use my needle nose pliers to do the rest of that turn. When you do a lot of wire work, you get used to needle nose pliers and they become like an extension of your hand, just another set of fingers basically. Straighten that out. Use my needle nose pliers again to make a 90-degree turn with the legs. Oh yeah, so I'm coming out to the edge of this red line here on the hips so that he actually has some hips. Woohoo! So far I have a little stick figure. He's starting to look like a person. Decisions to be thinking about right now. You'll notice that you have a lot of extra wire coming down past the red line on the feet. And this, if you want to have yours be on a base, you're going to end up, I'm going to put this down below that foot, right there. I'm going to be making a little zigzag. So I have some extra wire that'll go down into my wood block if I decide. And there'll be some trimming. We have extra wire. So that can go down into that wood block if I want it to be on a stand. If you don't want it to be in a stand, you're going to end up making like a little mitten down there for the foot. Turn that the other way. And using some of that wire, that foot needs to be a little bit bigger, I think. Yeah, foot you can actually stand on. All right, now I'm going to take this wire and wrap it around the shin bone, and then use my needle nose pliers to finish that wrap and squish the end down. Get one foot done. Woohoo! I don't always use the needle nose pliers, you know, they are there for the tricky stuff, to get 90-degree turns and such, but a lot of this you can just do with your fingers. Spinning that around, we turn so there's not so much shadow on it, and then use the needle nose pliers to help clamp it down. If you keep doing that with your thumb, you can get a good ouchie. Alright, basic person form. Needs some arms. You will have a shorter piece of wire. This one's about 14 inches. Again, fold it in half. One thing you can do is put this around your little wire person's neck like a scarf to get started, and then we're going to wrap it a little bit coming out from the shoulders to start forming the arms. I'm going to take this end and sew it through. I'm going to do it twice because I don't want it to be real loose. Pull it out straight. Maybe I want it up there a little bit more. And then this one I'm going to sew it through. Get a good loop. Now we need to figure out how long the arms are going to be and make a little mitten at the end for the hands. I'll put this back on here, use my needle nose pliers and make a 90-degree turn. When I get down here, I'm going to make a guess where that mitten's going to be and form a loop. Twist it up the forearm, and then again use that needle nose pliers to finish it off. Don't really want things poking out of your wire figure, so you don't want to get poked. I'm going to stop this video and then do a second one for adding wire, just because this one's getting kind of long. It's like 8 minutes already. So, first step, we are this far. We have the basis for our wire figure. Next thing we're going to do is add some wire to give him some muscle and fatten him up a little bit. All right, hold on.